Look for the times that you fear to be disciplined. This morning, I was going through my normal morning routine, and I'm still working on mastering my own morning routine myself. And today was definitely one of those mornings where I was just like, why? Where I was just like, it's emotionally difficult. And I got enough sleep, which is interesting. I always tell myself stories of how I don't get enough sleep because I got like 7+ hours of sleep, 7 or so hours of sleep, not 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours or so of sleep. I noticed this morning that, and one thing you should know is that every morning I have a wild amount of dreams. And typically these dreams will actually throw me off in the morning. And what that has done is that has forced me even more to come up with strategies to reset my mind first thing in the morning. And I realize now, I think I just have to train my mind. Like I have to sit and actively let go to be present in this moment now. It's really interesting just how much the mind will throw up a wall right in the morning. And that's why it's so important for me to do some form of workout, physical activity, and to then do a shower and get some cold water in there. Because these are emotionally difficult things to do that you have to focus your mind on, and you really have to let go of anything else that's going on in your mind to really lean into the present moment. And what I really noticed this morning is that it was one of those moments where I was actually scared. I was in a state of consciousness where I was fearful. I was scared to be that disciplined. Kind of sounds weird to say it that way. But I realize that to truly be disciplined is to act regardless of how you feel, regardless of what's on your mind, to be on time, to output the result. And naturally, you will fall into a situation, you will find yourself in a situation where you don't want to do it, where you're just operating off of commitment, you're just operating off a decision. You're going to find yourself in a situation where it's uncomfortable to stick to it. You're going to find yourself in a situation where you actually fear changing yourself in that manner. Because I realized that part of your identity actually is in how much you distract yourself and how much you engage in vices, how much or how little you work, how efficiently or how slowly you work. And this, of course, goes into the attitude that you embody when you have your morning routine. And I realized, when I noticed that fear, I'm like, oh, I didn't know today was going to be a day where I write a new page of my character. Because it's in the moments where things are especially emotionally difficult in some way. Today was fear. Then those are the best opportunities to really create someone new. And I think a large part of the fear is what's circling in my mind right now is that I live a kind of isolated lifestyle where I just wake up, workout routine, and then go straight into my habits, straight into my work. And I'm not even really doing any vices at all, like at least throughout the day, as much as possible. I'm not going out. I'm not leaving the house. I am leaving the house like once or twice a day to go to have a walk outside to get the sunlight and just to have the fresh air. But other than that, it's pretty isolated. And I've really noticed that I will perpetually live this kind of life until I really create something that's more abundant than this. Because I definitely don't want to be stuck, showing up somewhere I don't want to be. And I realize I just want to be able to move away. I want to be able to move in a city with people where there's more abundance of people that have more developed minds, more open minds. You could say more liberal minds. Anyways, it's a little bit of a tangent. Back to the topic of fear. See, that I was very interested in finding fear in myself, in which it's just a morning routine. Now, I do still have a subtle fear of the dark. So like when it's nighttime and I'm, cause like what, running at like 5 a.m. So, it's still dark out. And, in the dead of winter, funny enough, there's still cars driving around. But I guess that's just where I am. Just running where you can barely see like the path and barely see the ice chunks on the path. And those moments where you kind of feel like there's something behind you. And like, I'm like, hey, you don't have to look. And don't have to look. And then like fine, like, I'll look. Like, happy? Are you happy, mind? What really came strong to me this morning was this was a great opportunity to love myself even more through the fear. And I found that very interesting how that came to me. I think a lot of us do fear actually becoming who we came here to be. Because we fear the boredom that's ahead. We fear the work that's ahead. We fear challenging our minds in various ways to become that person. We fear disciplining ourselves so much that we are able to quickly and efficiently let go of the moment at any time to move on to the next, so we can get from one activity to another, so we can discipline ourselves. I think about how I work all day and then I have like my alarms to get ready for bed, and I realize that resistance comes from really a fear of the day being over, having to start it all over again. And here I am now. Rather than seeing that fear and that resistance as an opportunity to race towards the next day even more. So I'm going to race towards, sleeping because I'm excited to crush the next day. And I'm going to respect the next day by facing my fear the day before. Because for me, I've grown up with a massive fear of falling asleep. And so I've had to actually turn facing that fear into a meaning so I can actually cope enough to fall asleep. It's funny how that works. So not only is choosing to get out of bed, choosing to get into your life, but choosing to go to bed on time is choosing to invest in yourself. And so even if it's scary to let go of these distractions, even if it's scary to discipline yourself that much, lean into it, because that really is the only way you're going to actually change yourself. Fear is, in resistance, is the threshold guardian between you and your next level up. In all ways, in all forms, in all domains. I've really noticed this. And if you want to become better than everybody else, then you have to realize that you're going to have to go through more fear. You're going to have to let go of more. You're going to have to commit more. You have to let go of your life more than other people are willing to let go of themselves. That is what is required if you really want to be at the top. If you want to be way better than everybody else, you must sacrifice and let go more than anybody else is willing to let go of. So think about that next time you have resistance towards anything. What are you holding on to? What part of yourself is not wanting to die? And that could give you some clarity as to why, what identity issues are holding you back from locking in your discipline, locking in your focus, locking in dropping all of your vices. It's just all fear. Fear of the old self dying. But that's the only thing, that is the thing required to have the new self be reborn. Or the new self to be born. So, with that, thank you for watching. And I'll see you in the next one.